All right, everybody, welcome out to the End of Chaser Beer and Booze Show. It is Wednesday, May the 8th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Sounds like amazingly similar to a Lager Room show, doesn't it?
It does. We got to work on that opening.
Yeah.
Beer and booze. It sounds so. I don't know.
Boo-
Bowery.
Bowery. I'm not mad at that.
Not necessarily. Bowery is a little different than it was than when we were kids.
This is very true. This is very true.
We are bums. So
We are bums. And I did watch the Bowery Boys. They were on every Sunday after Abbott and Costello, if you remember, right? Channel 11, watched Abbott and Costello. What came on next? Bowery Boys.
No, I didn't watch that.
You didn't?
Yeah.
There you go. Well, either way, we are here tonight. We are Tomless this evening.
We are Tom-less.
We are Tomless this
We
evening.
are less one Tom.
We are less one Tom. He might be commenting in. We will see.
We shall see.
We shall see.
He got called into work at the brewery. And the brewery, he's been doing apparently some amazing work with cocktails. There's some mixology there.
He has. In fact, he did send us his current concoction of the day, if you will. I will put up a picture of it right here, and he's using white rum, orange liqueur, cherry bitters, and I believe he says he made his very own house-made strawberry simple syrup. Yeah. Using raw sugar, he used. Yeah, so looks amazing. I'm gonna have to. I mean, just looking at it, I'm like,
Yeah, that looks yummy.
It looks like it would definitely quench my first, and I'd have to have a second, not too far after drinking that one.
Yeah, cherry, orange, and strawberry. Interesting.
Cherry, orange, strawberry in the rum, which, as you know, is obviously sweet to begin with. Because what is rum made from?
It is made from sugar cane, but it's usually not all that sweet, especially the white stuff.
Well, it leans to sweet.
It leans to sweet for spirit.
Right.
For spirit. So
very good. Absolutely. All right. Well, there you go. Well, that's where Tom is. Speaking of spirits, let's pour ours so we can get to it.
Why don't we tell everybody what we're doing tonight?
Tonight we decided no cocktails, no concoctions, other than showing you Tom's.
Yes.
We are just going to drink a straight spirit, straight, neat, or rocks. I'm going rocks.
I'm going. Yeah, you know me. I go neat.
You go neat.
Straight out of the bottle.
And pair it with a beer that for whatever reason we feel would pair with the beer for whatever. So Samurai, you tell us what you're doing first here.
Well, it's interesting because I started to pair the bottle that I have, and I'll show you the bottle I have here. We've got some Bib and Tucker.
That's one of my favorite bourbons, right?
And I know it's and if you watched the Lager Room Guys show last night, I told John I'll be drinking something that you're quite familiar with. So I know this is one of his favorite bourbons. When I saw it on the shelf, I said, I'm going to have to get one because I know John hasn't had one in a while, and we know how much I love making John jealous.
One way or another.
Yeah, it's, if a week goes by and John doesn't give me the finger,
something's wrong.
Life's not worth living.
That's very true.
So I did test this with a few things because I know that lagers and pilsners lately people are starting to pair with bourbons, and there's some good reasons to do so. And I did like a Keller beer made by Ghost Hawk, and although they didn't go together too well, what was really interesting, it really brought out some of the the rye in the bourbon.
Okay.
You could really taste the rye. So I found that interesting, but not interesting enough to do on the show. So even though I did these tests, as I did Bavarian Pils with it, I did that that Von Trapp Bavarian Pils with it.
Yep, I did.
That was like kind of milquetoast when it came to the effects. There was just nothing to it. It was like, okay, so this is I've got a beer, I've got a bourbon. There was just nothing really going on there. So I decided to go a little bold. People like to do IPAs with bourbons, and I get that. The spice, the spice of the hops, if it's a spicy hop or whatever flavor you're getting from the hops, with whatever flavors are in the bourbon, they can work together.
Correct.
I decided to go one step further than that because some people like to put dark beers with bourbons, like a stout with a bourbon. I don't Haven't really done it, so I don't know. But I'm not doing a stout. I'm not doing an IPA per se. I'm doing Carton's Epitome Imperial Black Ale with this,
which would have roasty notes, i.e., a stout, and bitter notes, i.e., an IPA. Therefore,
bitter notes. Did you look at the IBUs on this?
Oh yeah, 100 IBUs.
Bitter notes.
Well,
that's a whole orchestra.
I didn't say how many notes there were.
That's a sympathy. Have sympathy on me later.
No sympathy on you later. The symphony of bitterness.
Symphony for the devil. No, that doesn't work. So it's going to be interesting to see how these pair. Now, I've gone through the whole spiel of what I've done, my thought process behind it, and then we're going to turn it over to John because I do want both. I want the bourbon to breathe a little bit, and I want the epitome to warm a little bit.
Fair enough.
So I'm going to sit here while John talks with the. You see so many beer nerds in breweries or bars holding a beer like this because it's a dark beer that was just poured too cold.
Exactly.
Well, I kept this can at the temperature it's supposed to be kept at, but not the temperature it's supposed to be drank at. So,
right, yeah, you need to keep it and drink it to different temperatures. So,
yep.
So tonight I literally just cracked into a new bottle. It's not an expensive bourbon.
Don't say crack sitting in that chair, considering what happened last night.
This is true.
Yeah.
I just opened a brand new bottle.
Good.
Of this particular bourbon.
Good. I'm glad that you didn't go with broken too either.
No, I didn't, exactly. It's not expensive bourbon by any means. It's one of my favorites. I pick it up as more often than other bourbons that are obviously higher price, whatever. But Buffalo Trace. All right.
And if it's newly open, the thing about bourbon is like you can age it and age it and age it and age it, and when you first open it, it's still going to have some heat to it.
Yep.
So John's opting for the heat.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I've had this bottle for a little over a week now. I actually let it sit with the cork off for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Remember, I'm having it on the rocks, so
yeah, that'll open it up.
That'll open it up a little bit for me. And as far as the beer goes, I am pairing it with a Maibach.
Whose Bach?
Maibach. This is my Bach.
That's your Bach.
It's my Bach.
It's my goat.
And this is my goat right here. So now, a couple of reasons. One, it's May.
It is May.
So
and MAI is the German word for May.
For May, right? So, so it's a Bach to drink in May on my Bach, right? So that's one reason to have it. Mm-hmm. Two, the notes of the flavors of a Maibach, I personally for me pair well with bourbons. The flavors of any Bach, right? Any Bach, not just a Maibach.
So you've done this before,
right? Okay. And then the other reason is Buffalo Trace is a bourbon from Kentucky, obviously. Otherwise, it's not really technically a bourbon.
No, that's not true. That
is formally true.
It's way back, but it just has to be made in the U.S.
and for original barrel,
original charred
barrel.
white oak, American
white oak barrel, right? Yes.
And then has to be a certain percentage of the grains.
Yeah, it has to be a certain percentage of corn versus
rye.
Rye.
And there can be wheat in it as long as the other percentages are met.
Correct.
And then the other thing is it has to be a particular ABV coming out of in the two different stages, right. Coming out of the still, and then it has to be brought down to a particular ABV out of the barrel.
Out of the barrel, right. What you call it? And but the other reason is so it's Kentucky, mm-hmm. Okay, and this Maibach is from Tennessee.
Okay.
Memphis to be exact.
So neighbors.
There you go. Neighbors. So there you go. 3 reasons that I'm pairing this particular beer with it. So, all right. I'm thirsty.
Hey, I got batch 33 here.
You have batch 33, do you?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Bottle 32033.
32033.
Mm-hmm. Aged 6 years. This is a pretty bottle. I like these bottles.
I love the Bourbon Tucker bottle. So,
cheers. You can make a whatchamacallit out of that. A lamp.
You can make a lamp. There you go.
Wouldn't be very sturdy though.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, that's nice. Perfect timing too. The ice opened it up. The little bit of melting of the ice opened it up a little bit nicely.
And this has got. I'm loving. To me, the flavor component of a really fine bourbon is when you've got that little bit of citrus note to it.
Yep.
Right. That's how you know you're dealing with someone who really knows what they're doing. Vanilla. If there's not vanilla in your bourbon, then something went wrong. They overcharred the barrel.
Yeah.
Because they didn't pull any of the vanilla out of the oak.
You need to get some nice vanilla out of that oak. And you want to get oak out of the oak too, right?
You want to get oak out of it. So you got the wood in there. This has got, and it does have, I think the strongest component in the nose is the tobacco. And I imagine the tobacco flavor is probably a combination of the rye and the char working together.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, there's a little. I've always gotten tobacco, a little bit of leather, some very, very, very subtle caramel, nice vanilla.
The caramel's very subtle. The vanilla's nice, and just that tinge of citrus.
Yep. Yeah, I love that bourbon. Now you've forced my hand when I'm passing the store that you got it in. Won't say which. In the next day or two, I will be stopping in and picking up a bottle of that.
Now, hopefully, the one by you.
Well, it should be the same.
Should be. But yeah, the one closest to me had range of 3 of them. Right, I forget what the toasted barrel one.
Yeah, there's the regular, the toasted barrel, and the
and then there's the one that's it's a 12-year.
12-year.
It's the 12-year.
12-year. Yeah.
And this is the 6-year. The 6-year was only $47. Only, which for a bourbon of this quality is a damn good price considering what you're seeing some bourbons go for.
100%. Yeah, the flavors and everything else that you're getting out of that bourbon, $47 is a steal for that bottle.
Yeah, and it's like $70 for the charred barrel, but it's like $120 for the 12.
Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah. So yeah, for $120, I'm going to find me a Blanton's.
Yeah.
Because that's
which you really should be paying $60 or $70.
Yes, exactly. But if I'm going to spend $120, that's where I'm going. But it just became so damn popular that supply and demand.
That's what it is. That's really what it is. And it sucks, but hey, is what it is.
It is what it is.
That's what it is.
So I think it'll be a very long time before this place is graced by a bottle of Blanton's again.
There you go.
It definitely won't have a Pappy 23 in it.
No.
If I ever have a Pappy 23 in my hands, either someone with a lot of money really like me, or I won the lottery.
Yeah, I'm not buying a bottle of Pappy 23 myself. So, yeah, exactly. But you know what? Even if I won the lottery, I don't think the first thing I'm going to do is run out and buy a bottle of Pappy 23. So I may eventually. So yeah, that is a contingency.
The first thing I might do might be the Corvette. I like the Corvettes.
Fair enough. Yeah, first car I'd get would be I definitely have to get my bucket list car, which the only way I'm getting it is to win the lottery. So,
and what is your bucket list car?
It would be a Bentley.
A Bentley, really?
Yeah.
With or without the chauffeur?
No, without. I want to drive by myself. Yeah, the sports model. No, I don't need the stuffy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're with the sports model. You don't want. Yeah. I thought you were talking like the one with like the suicide.
No.
But that's
cool.
I'm not.
Although they're very cool. No, I'm talking like a the more affordable Bentley. Let's put it that way. How's that?
Well, like my bucket list, most of my bucket list cars, have in their model year have a 19 in front of them.
Oh well.
And more often it's either a 6 or a 7. Yeah, it's the third number. The 67 Camaro SS. Even the 68 Camaro SS. Those things are things of beauty. Like you're talking about the car in Better Off Dead.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, I love that car before that movie came out. So
sure.
It has nothing to do with that movie. And when that movie came out and I saw that car, I'm like, oh, you've got everybody, all the other guys are drooling over the French foreign exchange student, and I'm drooling over.
You're drooling over the car, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But then the other thing is, and I think it's in 1970 or 71, 72 in that range, Lamborghini Cheetah.
Fair enough.
You ever see one of those?
Yeah.
These things. Okay, so this is an SUV per se. This is they were picture a Humvee that was built to go 120 miles per hour on sand.
Yeah.
And they have.
You need to do that when you're on sand.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, what they made them for was to guard for the Saudis to guard their oil fields. Mm-hmm. So they also had halo roofs and and they made it so that you could easily mount a machine gun into the bed, pop out of the halo roof, and shoot whatever's ever around. Right. So yeah, these things were. This is one of the. There's a lot of big badass pickup trucks and SUVs that were out there, but the Lamborghini Cheetah is like, well, it's the Lamborghini of these things.
Of course,
literally.
Of course. Yeah, my other bucket list car is a 1987 Porsche, or Porsche, if you will, 928 S4.
Interesting.
928 S4.
I know that. I know my friend Bill had a 928
in Burgundy,
and he had it in Burgundy. Mm-hmm. This is the one with the long nose, and when the headlights went down, they kind of laid flat.
Laid flat, yeah.
He may have had your car.
Very nice.
I'm just saying.
Very nice.
And I do remember loading a very drunk Vin into we popped the hatch on the thing and loaded him in head first.
Lovely.
Went to a diner, dragged him out of it feet first. He ordered a vanilla milkshake and some rye toast. He took one bite of the rye toast, slurped the milkshake, and then his head hit the table. The two cops at the counter turned around, went, "Is he all right?" Picked him up by his hair. "You okay?" "Uh-huh. Yeah, he's fine." He's not driving, is he? Not at the moment, he's not.
Yeah, right now. Gotta love it. On that note, yeah, those are my two bucket list cars. My third one is, I'll just tell you, it's actually a nod from my father. It's his bucket list car, and that's a 1958 Chevy Impala convertible.
That's not a bad car at all.
White convertible roof, white leather interior, cherry red exterior. It's the first year for that model. Impala. So, yeah, and
Bill also had an Impala. It was 1970, baby blue.
There you go. But he always wanted to get that car, and he had cars around that, but that was that was like an elusive car to him. He wanted to get that. And I remember once back in probably, I'm going to say it was probably like 82, 83, 84, somewhere in there. He every now and then he'd pick up the want ads, the cars, just to look, right? Probably maybe even earlier. It might have been 81, 82. And he saw one. A woman was selling same car, exact car, 9,000 miles on it.
Oh, she had it in the garage.
Yep. Which
driven once by a little old lady from Peoria.
Yeah, exactly, right. And she was just getting rid of it. She was selling it for, I think she wanted like $7,500. That's it.
Oh my God.
Right. So he saw it, and it was right when the want ad press came out. If anybody, I don't even know, do they still have the want ad press? Is that still a thing?
I don't know.
Right. So if it's not, anybody watching this that doesn't know, it was a classified book for cars. You can have, it was other things too, but there was two. There was an automotive one and then everything else.
Yeah.
The automotive one was but local for your basic area.
Yeah.
And it came out once a week, I believe it was, right? It was a weekly thing. It was a weekly publication. So it was the day it came out. So he called the number in it straight away. Woman picked up and she says, she hadn't gotten any calls on it at all. And he's the first one. He says, great. He says, he where we live for where the car was about half an hour, 35-minute ride, maybe 40 minutes tops. So he says, I'll be up in X time or whatever. I'm getting in the car right now with my checkbook. Don't give it to anybody else. It's mine. I'm on my way. Hold it for me. I'm there. She says, no problem. He literally left like a minute later. He's in the car leaving. He got all the way up there. As he's pulling up her block, the car's driving away.
Oh.
And he went to the door and he said, I told you to hold it. I was coming. She said, somebody came here because she had her address listed too. Right. Okay. Somebody came by and she said, are you the guy that just called? And he said, yes. And he wasn't. He lied. Bag. Right. So wrote her a check, bing, bang, boom, took the car, left, boom, got did the title thing and the whole 9 yards. So, yeah. So the guy, whoever it was, like screwed him out of the car. But that was as close as he ever got to get in the car.
Well, I texted while we were talking, I texted Bill. He had his 928, Burgundy 928 was a 1980.
Okay.
So it was not an S4 because he said the S4s didn't come out till 84.
Yeah, it was. They came out in 84. I want the 80. I want the 87. That's my that's number one. Actually, yeah, it's Bentley, the sports model, the 87 928 S4, and then the 58 Impala. Those are my three.
Another car that I wouldn't mind having, and the owner of this brewery would probably fit in his garage very, very well, was the 1969 GTO, the Judge.
The Judge. Okay.
That car was a beast. And the horn, when you hit it, played "Here Come the Judge."
Here come the Judge.
that was something else.
So the other one I'll throw out there too, wouldn't mind it. It's not necessarily on my list. It is and it isn't. Just to throw it out there, would be a 1971 Oldsmobile 442.
I have driven one of those.
So
with the Hearst shifter.
Oh yeah. Right.
Oh yeah.
That's the car, that's a car, because there's several of them. That's one of the cars where if you get down under the trunk and look underneath the car, there's a set of big balls hanging down.
Yeah, massive set.
Yeah. The muscle cars, gotta love them. But I also want to say this too. I always said this, if I ever hit the lottery, other than that stuff and whatever else, whatever other million things I want to do with the money, whatever. One thing that I always said I wanted to do, I want to, because buying some cars obviously will become a hobby if I had that expendable income, right?
Okay, Jay Leno.
Yeah, well, not to that level.
Oh, not to that level.
Not to that level. No. But I want to buy every car I ever had. Not the exact car, just.
Well, yeah, I couldn't. I know what you're talking about. Yes, I don't know if I'd want to do that. I had some dogs, but actually, I think the first thing I'd buy if I hit the lottery, vehicle-wise, Mercedes Sprinter camper van.
Fair enough.
And quit my job and just have Carrie quit her job, and we would just drive around the U.S.
Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea either, to be honest with you.
Because the thing is, and you get in go to a brewery, park in the parking lot, say, hey, do you mind if we crash in the parking lot tonight? And if you can, then you just have at it at the brewery.
That's it.
So that'd be so much fun. But yeah, those camper vans, and you can get a full bathroom in there, full kitchen, queen bed. It's amazing how much you can fit into something that's a van.
Oh yeah, you can fit a lot in that.
It's ingenious how the engineering and the layout of these things. It's really something else. So I would love to have one of those. Tell you, I'd be first rule of order would be to visit every national park.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea either. There's a lot of things. I mean, clearly, breweries and distilleries too.
Yeah, you're more into the distilleries than I am. I'm more about the breweries.
Breweries, distilleries, ballparks, specifically baseball and football.
Yeah.
And not just. I mean, we visited a bunch. I have a bunch checked off, if you will. Not, however, a lot of ballpark chasers, as they call them, right? They don't consider it being checked off the list unless you see a game there.
Right. I would agree with that.
I understand it. I don't necessarily agree with it because what I do.
You said do.
What I do is if I'm in that city and a game's not going on while I'm in that city. Like, say I'm at a football stadium.
It's not like you're not going to go.
Right. But what I do is I make sure I take the tour. So technically, I see more of the damn stadium than I would if I just went to a game. So that's my caveat, right? That's my.
I still need to get to Fenway.
Yeah. Oh, Fenway's. Yeah. I've been to Fenway a dozen times.
Need to get to Fenway, but the jewel of my crown of ballparks, Wrigley.
Yeah, I've been to. Well, that Wrigley fits into the. I haven't seen a game, but I've taken the tour. I've been to Wrigley. I've been to Wrigley 3 times and haven't seen a game.
The game I saw.
They just weren't. When I was in Chicago, the Cubs were out of town. So
went to Chicago, and my friend said, "Hey, we don't have to go if you don't want to, but I took it upon myself to buy Cubs tickets." Mm-hmm. I said, "How dare you? How dare you read my hopes, desires, and dreams?" And we went. I don't remember. I can't remember who the hell they played. It doesn't matter. It was just really cool because it's a bleacher stadium.
Oh yeah.
You come in through the bottom of the bleachers, and as you reach the top of the stairs to come into the bleachers, mm-hmm. and you look, and there are the buildings and the roofs and in the outfield, and there's the ivy wall, and it's like it's real. Yep. But when I was there, 7th inning stretch, Harry Carey leading outside the booth, singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," and God bless his soul. He was drunk as a skunk. Someone had him by the back of his pants, so he didn't fall out of the window.
100%, yeah.
But man, that was an experience.
Yeah,
I can. And I'll finally make it to see a Pirates game. And the Mets are playing there.
And the Mets, you're going to see a Mets Pirates game. Yeah,
and you're going to see them 2 days later, aren't you?
Yep, 3 days. You're going Friday, right? 3 days later, Monday.
3 days. Is it a 4-game stand?
It's a 4-game stand. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're both seeing the Mets there this year.
Yeah. But the PNC is one, like, my favorite. I have to separate it by like nostalgia and so forth and current modern day, right?
Right.
So my number one ballpark for nostalgia, for history, if you will, is Fenway, and Wrigley's a close second, but Fenway's my number one. But excuse me, something in my mouth there. Anyway, but for current modern day stadiums, Citi Field, and I'm not just being a homer.
Oh, Citi is just an amazing
Citi Field is an amazing ballpark. They did it right when they built that stadium.
Yep.
And I don't normally give the Wilpons credit for anything.
But this one.
But that was done right. I'll say there that they hired a designer. I'm sure Jeff and Fred didn't sit down and design the ballpark themselves.
And the thing about that, just go buy the cheapest seat possible. Go visit it, say hi, but spend the rest of it walking around the ballpark because
see everything.
It doesn't matter where you are in the ballpark unless you're in the bathrooms or in the food court all the way at the top. Mm-hmm. Even so, if you're in the food court, there's monitors, but no matter where you are, you can see the game.
Yeah, and if you're in the bathrooms, you can't see the game, but you can hear the game because they broadcast the radio feed in the bathrooms.
Yeah, the WFAN feed, isn't it?
It's CBS. They're on 880.
Okay,
they're on 880. They used to be on the Fan. The Yankees are on the Fan now.
That's right. That's right.
But in any event, my second favorite modern day ballpark is where you're going in July. It's PNC Park. I love that ballpark. I've seen several games there. It's an amazing.
And I got to figure out if there's anybody listening from Pittsburgh. I need to figure out where to go to see fireworks. So I'll be there on July 4th.
The ballpark.
Yeah, Wonderland.
And you're gonna see them because it's a Friday night game. You're going. Yeah. After the game, you're gonna see fireworks that night too.
So maybe we can see them the 4th and the 5th.
Yeah, yeah.
So, well, I think my beer's warmed up enough, and that we can get back to talking about beer and booze.
Fair enough. Oh, that's what this is about.
Yeah, apparently that's what the show's about.
Okay. I was just getting in sports.
It's still a work in progress because you got your sports.
In coming up in just a little bit. Just a little bit. But
so when I take it. So we talk about the tasting notes of this. Mm-hmm. Epitome has like such a roasty element to it. When it ages a little bit, and it's got a little bit of age on it, it gets this almost like slow plum flavor to it There's really like a dark fruit, pit fruit. So if we add the two together.
And he's drinking his epitome in a Teco.
Because it is technically kind of an IPA.
Kind
it's
of,
just not. It's just not pale.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say one thing: drinking the bourbon first really smooths out the bitterness in this beer.
Okay.
And then now to go back to the bourbon and see what it does to the bourbon. Kind of not a damn thing.
Kind of not a damn thing.
I'm still getting every single note that I got out of it prior. It makes it almost gives a little bit of sweetness to it. I think that's about it.
All right. Fair enough.
That's about it.
That's fine. And that makes sense too, because you have 100 IBUs on your palate in that beer. Yeah. There's no way that bourbon is anywhere near as bitter as that beer, so it's definitely gonna seem sweeter.
So I think what's going on here is the two have their levels of bitterness and are canceling out certain levels of bitterness in each other.
Sure.
So like I said, it's smoothing out the epitome, and the bourbon becomes a little sweeter from it.
Fair enough.
So there you go.
Does make sense.
Okay, John, time for you to Maibach it up.
Maibach it up. This, well, as I said before, the flavor profile in a Maibach, or any Bach for that matter, the bread notes, the caramel notes, the not roasty but toasty notes,
right.
Maybe even a little bit of citrus, like you said, very little, but there, and the bitterness from the noble hops. That you're getting really, 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 for me anyway, pair very well with certain bourbons, but more often than not, most bourbons. So for me, I was drinking, I had Buffalo Trace bourbon in this glass and a Maibach in this glass, and I was drinking the beer version of this here and the bourbon version of this here. You know what I'm saying? So all of those flavors did.
So all complementary flavors.
All complementary flavors, yeah, exactly. And and it's really nice. It's drinking the beer's drinking very good. Obviously, well, it is May and it's a Maibach.
Should be. Yeah. We'll say one thing. If you take, I really wish I'd had a Ragen to try with this.
Yeah, you know what? I might do that the next time we do this show, and it's a different bourbon. This not this show, but this particular thing where we just have a one bourbon open up,
right,
and drink it, pair it with one beer. I might do it with a Ragen beer,
because I'm imagining. So Maibach, other than the rye, is not too far off of a Ragen when it comes to malt bill.
No, you can put you base it. Well, it's similar.
It's similar. I said not too far off.
Right.
It's not identical. It's not too far off. But because I think why the Maibach works so well and so complementary is because it's not that far off from a Ragen. A Ragen, to me, if you take the hopping out of a Ragen, to me that might be because we've said it many times before on Lager Room Guys. We haven't said it many times here because this is only our fourth show.
It's our fourth show.
Is that to make a spirit, to make bourbon, to make whiskey, you need to make beer.
You make beer first. Yeah.
And it's not hops. So if you take the hops out of a Ragen beer, I imagine that's kind of what the beer that becomes bourbon might taste like. I've never actually tasted the beer. From what I hear, it's entirely undrinkable. But if you don't hop a beer or put some bittering agent in it, they're undrinkable. That's the whole reason they did it.
I mean, it's just sweet. It's basically cereal water, more or less. It's like, but it smells great.
Yeah, but I imagine
not such a good taste. Yeah.
I imagine if you distilled a Ragen, you'd get something pretty similar to a bourbon if you aged it in charred barrels. Right,
and you're not too far off of there. And then
and a Maibach being not that dissimilar from a Ragen, just not that rye bite, might be why you're getting a lot of complementary flavors.
Sure, of course. and depending on what the rye bill is in the Roggen.
Yes.
If it's a higher rye bill, then I would pair it with rye. Yeah. So,
that would be.
And you
know
me and rye. Love my rye.
He does love his rye. The only thing he loves more than rye, I think, is gin.
This is true. This time of year. I don't drink much gin. As much as I love gin, I don't drink much gin in December or January.
No, the cold months, John's more of the rye.
Rye and bourbon, yeah.
Yep.
But I will tell you, just was up. Obviously, anybody that watched the Log Room show last night, it was just up in Vermont. Did pick up.
This rye, yes.
Did pick up a few. Picked up some rye. Picked up a couple other things while I was up there. But specifically speaking of gin, I picked up a bottle of maple gin, and I had to taste it while I was there. And this was at Smuggler's Notch Distilling,
right? And in the
Burlington store, right? The tasting room, yeah, on Church Street. But I had to taste it, because you know me and maple, and you know me and gin.
Yes,
right?
Put the two of them together.
Exactly. So I said to myself, I said, this is either going to be disgusting or the best thing since sliced bread. Right? So, and it was indeed the best thing since sliced bread. It was fantastic.
Wow.
That's so nice. So at some point in one of the next several shows, not sure whether it'll be the next one of these or a breakout show or something else, but at some point on End of Chaser, you will see me having a maple gin cocktail.
Maybe, perhaps, considering one of my most recent purchases. Did we do that already? A maple? We did a maple themed one, didn't we?
We did a maple theme.
Damn it!
No, we didn't do a maple theme one.
No, we didn't do a maple theme.
I did maple on it, but it was nut. It was nuttiness.
It was nut. It was a nut theme. We got.
It was a cocktail before. No, it was that. No, it was that one. Yeah. In fact, I can pull it up here. I have all the shows listed right here. Whatchamacallit? We did our first one, which was just it was right around St. Patrick's Day. So it was
just the introduction. We were just drinking.
It's just the introduction, but we did I did Guinness and Irish whiskey, and I believe you did too.
I think I did Guinness and Irish whiskey as well.
Right.
Because I had some 12-year-old Redbreast.
Right.
I still do. I'm looking at it right now, lovingly.
For the second, you're looking at your Redbreast lovingly.
I'm giving it bedroom eyes.
There you go. But yeah, so the second show we did, it was the we're a bit nutty today. That one, I had a pecan porter, but I did do a cocktail with my smoked maple syrup. But you have to do one with yours, so we can do that on the next one. It doesn't have to be the gin one. I'd rather wait on the gin one until we get into like.
No, we don't have to do it in the next one. I'm just saying, coming up, let's do a maple show.
We can do a maple show. I'm fine with doing a maple show.
Yeah, I know you are. That's your favorite.
I'll do a maple show every week.
Yeah, you do. Anybody who watches Log Room Guys knows John's favorite adjunct is maple. And if we do a maple show, we're going to have to do a coconut show. You know that.
We're going to have to do a coconut show for you.
That's my favorite adjunct. And then we'll have to figure out Tom's favorite adjunct. Coconut lends itself more to summer, and maybe we wait till fall before we do the maple show.
We can do that. I know. I've heard a brewery might be making a maple forward beer in October.
I've heard that as well.
So we can do that. But hey, I'm fine with doing a maple show. So you don't have to sit on that bottle you bought for 5 months or 4 months. We can do one before that and then do another one then too.
It's very possible. I can't remember the name of the brewery, despite seeing double right now. Of the
words. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we get closer to that.
Yes. It out, so I'm enjoying this pairing actually. I think, even though it was a last second decision, literally a last second, John had sent the link. I was talking to him before
we were about to start the show, and
I'm rummaging through the beer
cabinet,
fridge. Chill chest, cold box,
chill cabinet, cold cabinet.
Kalt trunk in German, apparently. It's weird because now it's changed a little bit. I'm getting some really bready notes out of the beer now, like black bread.
Black bread.
Yep. What do you have in your eyeball there?
It's the cap cover for the Buffalo Trace.
Oh, I was gonna do a.
I was just waiting for you to look up and say, "What the hell is that?"
I was gonna do a one of the Mackenzie brothers, the one that who were the two Mackenzie brothers? What were their names?
Bob and Doug Mackenzie.
I think it was.
Are their actual names or just
no? I know their actual names. The Moranis one. That was Doug.
That was Doug. Yes.
That was Doug. I was gonna
no, that was Bob.
Well, that was Bob. And I was gonna pull "What You Doing" from their Christmas song. What are you doing?
Oh right, yeah, I got you.
So. For those of you who haven't guessed, we are still forging the format of this particular podcast. We'd love to hear your input as what you'd like to see us do or do in future shows. But we're going to keep the format of it's something with spirits, be it a cocktail, be it neat, and a beer. That's what this is all about. And just any other way to throw some kind of structure to the show. I mean, it's always fun when we loosey-goosey it, but a little structure never hurt. So we would love any input, any feedback you can get, things you want to see. We are going to start maybe some guests, cocktail-wise, spirit-wise, on the show at some point, not necessarily at some point, show, but at some point. But other than that, because that's in the works. Other than that, talk about anything else you'd like to see. We've Tom's got his following, so he's reaching out to peeps to see what they want to see on the show. Because he's got his at the pub. Mm-hmm. Which is part of the Lager Room Guys podcast the Lager Room Podcast Network. Mm-hmm. So we want to make this thing its own thing. Mm-hmm. We're open as to where we take this, and ideas for shows. Absolutely, 100%. I mean, some of the things are obvious that some shows where maybe we showcase bourbon. Some shows we showcase vodka, gin, whatever you want to consider a spirit. Mm-hmm. Do that, and then we'll get into more and more cocktails too, especially with some of Tom's concoctions. Oh yeah, and some other things that Dave has done and I've done. But and maybe we'll even dissect it. There's a couple of people on because John and I are kind of a sort of a mixologist ourselves. We like to think so. we dabble. We dabble. But whatchamacallit, there are a few people, a few pages, if you will, people on Instagram that have their own cocktail pages, and would love to get a couple of them on because I follow them, and I'm pretty sure Dave does as well. I don't follow any cocktail pages. I know Tom does. I've sent them to him, but yeah, I'd love to get a couple of those on. But we'll do that. But the main thing is, let us know what your thoughts are. Give us the feedback, and we'll put that information to good use. So. Yep, and it's funny because I look at my bar over there again, lovingly, and I've got some spirits over there that I don't know are available to everybody, and I don't know that John nor Tom would want to buy a whole bottle of just to do a show. Mm-hmm. Like I've got Pisco over there. Nice. I know John would be open to Pisco. I don't know Tom so much on that. We'll see. We'll see. We'll have to figure it out. Because every year I do celebrate Pisco Sour Day. There you go. It is a Peruvian holiday. Mm-hmm. But hey, they make it. They're responsible for Pisco, and it's undrinkable by itself. Please don't drink it neat. No, that has to be mixed into a cocktail. So. Don't ever drink Pisco neat. But there's so many other things that are out there, and so we would love to explore the world of spirits, and we'll see how much our bank accounts can afford to get into all of these things. Exactly. Perfect. All right. So it's space constraints are another thing.
This is true. Yeah, space is just another issue. Yeah. Anyway, all right. On that note, perfect segue. Don't you think?
That note, like the bitterness note of epitome.
Epitome, right? On that note, we'll wrap up the show for today. What do you think? You got anything else to say?
No. No, I'm just blabbering to fill time right now.
There you go. We'll wrap up the show for today. On that note, we'll wrap up the show for today. Anyway, want to thank everybody for watching. If those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website. All of the Enda Chaser info will be on the loggerroom.com website. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on our social media. Right now, it's just Facebook. And, of course, YouTube. You can check out everything for Enda Chaser on the Logger Room podcast channel. And Facebook is at Enda Chaser, obviously. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook and YouTube every other Wednesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah. For those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you'll find an audio podcast, you'll find the Enda Chaser podcast.
Whoa! Tom just commented. As we're on the outro.
As we're figuring out, he said, "Hey guys." Hey Tom.
Hey Tom, how you doing? Cheers.
Cheers, Tom. I'm actually typing back, "Hey Tom." There you go.
Hey Tom. There we go. So
there you go.
Apparently Tom found a break in the big crush at the bar tonight.
There you go. But fantastic cocktail before, though, Tom. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, that looks delicious.
So we'll have to make one of those. Anyway, yes. So please do us a favor and follow us on one or all of those, or as many of those as you want.
Yeah.
And you'll never miss a show. Anyway, thanks for following along with us.
And please give us a follow because we're just starting.
Yeah, give us a follow on Facebook. Give the YouTube a follow too. Obviously, that'll help the Logger Room Podcast Network as well, because all of the shows on the Logger Room Podcast Network are on the Logger Room YouTube channel. So, and that includes the sports one, which is coming up in just a few minutes. So, in any event, give us a follow on those. Thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer and spirits, but drink responsibly. Yeah. And we will talk to you in a couple of weeks, folks.
Yeah. See you then.
Take care. Cheers.
Bye now.